celebrating this event since 2012 and are very proud to continue this tradition. Please rise and remove your hats for the introduction and presentation of our nation's flag and the singing of our national anthem. In honor of Veterans Day, today's color guard is provided by the Colorado Air National Guard and is under the command of Staff Sergeant Shanahan and includes Staff Sergeants Ramirez and Schneep, along with Senior Airman Wyatt. The national anthem is presented by the Windsor High School bands and choirs under the direction of Amy Murphy and Everett Shryock. Please rise and remove your hats for the presentation of our nation's flag and the singing of our national anthem. Please remain at attention until the color guard has exited the floor. You may be seated. At this time, I would like everyone to please welcome our Masters of Ceremonies today, Windsor High School Student Council Representatives, Maddie Romay and Leah Bacon.
We appreciate everyone coming today. I'd like to recognize our guests from the Windsor community joining us behind the podium today. When I call your name, please rise and be recognized. Lance Nichols, Weld RE4 School Board President. Jenny Hansen, Weld RE4 School Board. Mark Leach, Weld RE4 School Board. Ray Ruth, Weld RE4 School Board. Michelle Scallon, Superintendent of Weld RA4 Schools. Julie Klein, Mayor of Windsor. Stephen Garrison, Windsor Chief of Police. Chris Anger Mueller, Windsor Severance Fire Rescue Chief. Dick Thomas, Windsor High School Principal. Brad Irion, American Legion Post 109 Commander. Also, a special thanks to Scott Romay, Weld RE4 Military Liaison, who has helped coordinate this event for many years. We'd like to thank our official event sponsor, Brett's Electric. We want to thank her for the continued support of this special program here at Windsor High School. Please give your attention to the Windsor High School choirs. especially to our veterans. Today, we gather to commemorate Veterans Day, a day of respect and appreciation for the courageous men and women who have served in our armed forces. Today is a day of honor as well as remembrance. We reflect on their bravery and the great impact they have made on our nation. As we gather here in this gym, we are reminded that freedom is not free. It is earned through the unwavering dedication and commitment to those who have answered that call to service. Our freedom, justice, and peace were born from the sacrifice of our veterans. They have endured hardships that many of us could hardly imagine, and in countless cases have given the ultimate sacrifice for our country. Each of you carries a unique story that not only shapes your lives, but defines our nation in the spirit of your service. Each individual may represent diverse backgrounds, stories, and experiences, but one thing remains the same: the immense selflessness and commitment to our nation. They not only defended our country, but protected the future of our country. To our veterans here today, we thank you. It is an absolute privilege to celebrate you today here at Windsor High School. Let us honor you, not just today, but every single day, by living out the values you have instilled in us. Now let us give our attention to the Windsor High School orchestras. introduce our Windsor High School military-bound students, we would like to honor those brave men and women of our armed forces who have given the ultimate sacrifice and are unable to be here with us today. This includes former Windsor High School graduate Dwayne Smith, United States Army, killed in action on October 13, 1965, while serving in Vietnam, and Staff Sergeant Chris Birdwell, United States Army, killed in action on August 27, 2012, while serving in Afghanistan. Also, we honor the many graduates and community members from Windsor who have served our country but are unable to join us today. Please join me in a moment of silence. A round of applause and a thank you to Marcelo Kolb on the playing of taps. Veterans Day, originally known as Armistice Day, was created as a holiday to honor the end of World War I. In 1938, through an act of Congress, November 11th was recognized as a national holiday. On June 1st, 1954, November 11th became a day in which we honor American service veterans. In 1973, the United States military became an all-volunteer force. This requires a young adult to make the brave decision to risk their life in service to their nation. We are proud that Windsor High School graduates have always answered that call to service. Today, we honor 9 students who have committed to join the military after graduation to defend our country's freedom. We are so grateful for their commitment and sacrifice.
I would now like to introduce these exceptional Windsor High School students. When introduced, please rise and step forward. Tristan Bruning, candidate to the Naval Academy. Gracie Lutz, Navy. Kane Marks, Marines. Eileen Sines, Air Force. Jeremiah Salinas, Navy. Jackson Sheridan, Navy. Callan Vanderheiden, Navy. Daniel Vargas, Navy. Michael Webb, Navy. We thank you and we honor you. You may now be seated. Next time you see these fellow students in the hallway or in your class, please thank them for their brave choice to serve our nation. In addition to these students, we would also like to recognize the teachers and staff members who have served our country and are now at Windsor High School. Their bravery in service and their commitment to our students is honorable and deserves to be recognized. When introduced, please stand. Kevin Bowles, United States Army. Willie Brown, United States Army. Scott Burwell, Army National Guard. Joseph Collier, United States Army. Shannon Devlin, Army National Guard. Jared Griebel, Army National Guard. Tina Mazzoni, United States Navy. Now, if you could, please direct your attention to the Windsor High School Wind Symphony, Orchestra, and choirs as they will perform the Armed Forces Marches. If you are enlisted or have served in any branches of the Armed Forces, please stand up and be recognized during the playing of your Armed Forces song.
States Space Force. The United States Air Force.
How about our music programs? They're amazing. This program would not be what it is without them, so we really appreciate them and thank you. Our guest speaker for the 2024 Windsor High School Veterans Day program entered the Air Force as an enlisted member of the Tennessee Air National Guard in 2004 and was promoted to the rank of Staff Sergeant in 2008. In 2013, he was commissioned as an officer and transitioned into the Colorado Air National Guard. With the Colorado Air National Guard, he has fulfilled several assignments, including serving as the Site Acquisition Flight Commander for a $600 million early missile warning detection system. Today, he is the Director of Operations at the 233rd Space Communications Squadron, 233rd Space Group, at the Greeley Air National Guard Station. As Director of Operations, he ensures the worldwide operational readiness of the nation's only survivable and endurable mobile missile warning and nuclear detonation detection system, along with managing the 113 personnel needed for sustainment and maintenance. This morning, he is here to celebrate Veterans Day with us and to talk about the power of unity and the strength of our youth. Please stand and let's give a warm welcome to our friend, United States Air Force Major Lucas Stevens.
Thank you. Marines, can I get a mic check? You guys hear me okay back there? All right. Yeah, I met Lucas Ning here this morning, or Ing this morning. I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you guys, some of you guys, students here, remember Lucas. He sat right here where you guys were last year. I remember that very well. Thanks for coming. Look to your NCOs for what's coming next. You just got back from boot, right? Yeah, all right. I messed something up here, you guys good? Okay, I'll keep going. So good morning again, veterans, families, staff. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Mr. Thomas. Thank you for the opportunity for being here. As a parent of a few Windsor students, it's an honor to be here. I know, Mr. Thomas, that your staff has great care and concern for the students here, and I appreciate your staff. Mr. Romay, for organizing not only this event, but for all the other events. You'll probably notice Mr. Romay in the center at the 50-yard line at the football games, greeting the color guard as they exit the field. He organizes that event as well as the coin tosses recognizing veterans every football game. He does the scuba day, which we had a couple of weeks ago, and all of the state color guard events at the Chaz Estate events. Sir, you are a veteran ethos that we have. Thank you so much for what you do for this school. Thank you so much for what you do for the veterans, as well as the Windsor community. For our color guard out here in the back, sitting back here in the back, these are Space Group guys. I asked these guys, they volunteered on their day off to come here and present the colors. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our guard station out there in Greeley. It's about 20 minutes away, straight out east here. We've got about 400 citizen airmen out there performing multiple space missions, as well as state domestic operations. And that includes things like the emergency that we just had that Governor Polis just relayed to us for the winter advisory that we had. Things like COVID, freezing temperatures, getting homeless off the streets for the freezing temperatures, fires and floods and tornadoes. That's what the Air National Guard and the Army National Guard do for the community of the Windsor and for the state of Colorado. So, gentlemen in the back, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for showing such pride. Thank you for showing so much pride and reverence to our colors. Thank you for what you do. Brothers and sisters in arms, airmen, coasties, guardians, although there aren't any guardians here, sailors, Marines, and soldiers. It's been a blessing, or it is a blessing to be with you this morning, and we're here to honor you and thank you for your service and your sacrifice, and for the love that you have for our country. I'm extremely proud to have served along some of you. Paul stood up for 2 different songs as a guard guy. You get to do that. Former Navy guy and now an Air National Guard guy, so thank you for being here. You guys are professionals. Your talent and drive for mission success amaze me every single day, and you put service before self every single time. It's been an honor to serve and be counted as one of you, be counted among you in the service of our country and the state of Colorado, Windsor, and the northern Colorado area. And to our families, your silent sacrifice often goes unrecognized. While your veterans' sacrifices are acknowledged at times like these, it's vitally important to publicly acknowledge the family's contribution to the defense of our nation. Our families uphold the home front. They ensure that their veteran can serve, deploy, and fight our nation's battles and serve our communities without having to worry about what's going on at home. How many of you have a family member that's a veteran? How many of you have a loved one that has served? Go ahead and keep your hand up, look around. That's a mom, dad, cousin, aunt, uncle. It's your families that have sacrificed while they served. So thank you. Our families, especially our immediate families, deal with the leaky water heater on the weekend. It's always on drill weekend, right, babe? Amen. Yeah. Or going to multiple softball tournaments by themselves and carrying all the gear. Or the lonely nights without the loved one because they served. Their silent sacrifice allowed the veterans to perform their duties and focus on the mission. Thank you, families, for allowing our members to focus on the mission and come home safely. We could not and cannot support and defend the nation without you. So thank you. Today is the 70th anniversary of Veterans Day. And the first was established, as Maddie told you, in 1918, but in 1954 transitioned by President Eisenhower as a renaming and a change of focus from Armistice Day by President Wilson. It's a time where we can come together and we can unite to thank those who have served. Unity. Sometimes all we see in our country is division. The TV, the socials, it's everywhere. We seem to be increasingly divided, almost broken. But we can look to our veterans for inspiration. Our veterans come from a diverse background. They show us that there's something more powerful than our differences. There's something higher in service than themselves. Our veterans have shown us that they have a shared commitment to the Constitution of the United States of America. And the Constitution is not an irrelevant document. It's old, it's not irrelevant. The Constitution is a living testament to our unity, our rights, and our responsibilities to one another. Our veterans, regardless of their political views, where we come from, our beliefs, we're united under the common goal of supporting and defending that sacred text. We've each taken an oath, a solemn promise to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, to bear true faith and allegiance to the same. We took this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and we well and faithfully promise to discharge those duties that have been appointed to us. Now, that oath is very simple. It has four simple, very important parts. We swear to support and defend the Constitution. We swear an allegiance to the Constitution, to do our jobs to the best of our ability, and we all chose to do it willingly. Each veteran has done this. Each one has taken an oath to preserve our freedoms and our principles that it represents, for liberty, for justice, and for the pursuit of happiness. Veterans, recall the first time you took your oath. Go back with me, some of you a long time. Think about your oath, when you took that. I think if you ask a veteran when they took that oath, they probably will recall their basic training experience. They'll probably tell you a very similar story to mine. You probably can ask Lucas Ng in the back. He'll tell you very clearly exactly what his boot experience was. But they'll be similar. Going through boot camp as an airman, a coastie, a guardian, a Marine, sailor, or a soldier. They would have traveled from home, maybe for the first time. Some strange place they've never been, a bunch of folks they've never met before, street clothes, long hair, and whatever belongings that they would need for the coming weeks. When they get to their destination, they're still a group of individuals. But almost immediately, that begins to change. Their drill sergeants begin the process of unifying them. They all get the same haircut. They all get the same uniform. They all learn to shine their shoes the same way and tie their boots and lace their boots in the same direction. They all learn to march the same way, some better than others. They work until they're all the same, one unit, not individually focused. Their purpose is now something higher than themselves, they're unified. And a vet's service is the embodiment of unity. The color of one's skin, their gender, their creed no longer divide them, but rather their service unites them. Their commitment to their oath unites them. This is the lesson that our veterans have for us. In a nation often torn by debate, polarized views, and increasing division, we can find unity. Unity is in our dedication to the values that our Constitution upholds, just like our veterans have done since the infancy of our fledgling nation. Our lesson of unity is seen in 16-year-old Sybil Luddington. Now, Sybil's story, you may not know, wasn't uncovered until the late 1960s. Like Paul Revere, Sybil rode 40 miles, and it wasn't just to alert the militia that the British were coming. It was about her deep desire for freedom. She rode because of her desire for freedom for her family, for her community, and for her country. Her courage in the face of danger, her patriotism was fueled by the same spirit that would later be captured in the Constitution. Her story is one of many that illustrate the eternal fight for liberty that veterans continue to defend. Young Sybil Luddington brought her community together during the very divisive times of the American Revolution by her courage and her passion for freedom. Unity. We can look to the drummer boy of Chickamauga, the Shiloh drummer boy, Johnny Clem. Johnny ran away from home to try to enlist in the Union Army during the Civil War in 1861. He was 9 years old. He volunteered to fight to unite our divided country at the most trying time in our nation's history. Little Johnny Clem trailed a Union regiment. He helped out at camp, and he eventually became their drummer. Later joined them in battle, and by the age of 12, he became a sergeant. Johnny Clem stayed in the military after the war, and he eventually retired General Clem after serving 55 years in the Army. This veteran is a testament to the youthful fervor and desire for keeping our young nation together and preserve the principles of freedom and equality. His story reminds us of the Constitution's call for a more perfect union. And it's an ongoing struggle. It's one that we must pursue, and it transcends generations. Unity. Unity can be seen in Sergeant Alvin C. York. Now, before Sergeant York became one of the most decorated soldiers in World War I, he struggled with a contradiction between his religious beliefs and going to war. Eventually, he reconciled the two, and his perspective shifted to one of defending our country and its Constitution. Sergeant York's most famous act was during an offensive where he single-handedly captured 132 German soldiers. York's actions went beyond combat. They were a defense of the freedoms and the rights outlined in the Constitution. His transformation from reluctance to becoming a symbol of American bravery and dedication to liberty is powerful. And it shows that while our beliefs may differ, we can stand united in the constitutional values. Now, fast forward to Vietnam, a chapter in our history where the fabric of our national unity was stretched thin by dissent and discord. Yet, in the heart of that division stood Americans in uniform. Men like Sammy L. Davis. Private First Class Davis pursued his call to action and continued his family legacy of serving by enlisting in the Army in 1965. He chose to serve. He chose to serve at a time when our country was divided, a time when unity was needed most. PFC Davis's unit came under attack in South Vietnam by an overwhelming force of Viet Cong. He continued to fire while his howitzer was burning to fend off the attacking force. PFC Davis was severely injured, and though he couldn't swim, he still saved 3 of his comrades after crossing a deep river. He refused medical attention and continued to fight until the Viet Cong retreated. His actions, both under fire and post-retirement, illustrate that courage, sacrifice, and dedication are not bound by race, by creed, or by political party, but are universal human values that can unite us. His story is a testament to the idea that in the face of adversity, what unites us is our dedication to freedom and our service to each other. That's stronger than what divides us. So today, we can stand united. It's our choice. It's yours, and it's mine. No, not because we have similar thought or similar background, but because we share in the collective gratitude and responsibility for the freedoms that we enjoy. Let us honor the service of our veterans and the sacrifices of their families by striving to make our community a reflection of the unity and the dedication that they have shown. Honored veterans, families, staff, and students, thank you for your time, your attention, your care for those that have gone on before us and served the nation that we love. May God bless our veterans, their families, and the United States of America. Thank you for your time.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we are reminded of the sacrifices made by countless men and women who have served our nation with unwavering dedication. Their selfless commitment to defending our freedom and protecting our way of life is a debt that can never truly be repaid. We gather to honor the heroes among us. Your service has left an incredible mark on our nation's history, and it's a reminder of the enduring spirit of sacrifice and service. Let us ensure that our appreciation for your service goes beyond words. Please, let's take a moment to express our gratitude to all our veterans, and let us strive to honor their sacrifices each and every day. On this day, we also recognize the families of veterans. We thank their spouses, parents, children, and friends who stand beside them, supporting them through every high and low. The sacrifices of a veteran's family are often unseen, but still unforgettable. Thank you all for attending our 2024 Veterans Day program. In closing, we want to thank the businesses, families, and individuals for their support and funding for this special event. As we leave, let us continue to honor our veterans by living out the freedom they have protected. Join me in giving them one last round of applause. Veterans, we invite you to a group photo after the students are dismissed over here. Also, in honor of Veterans Day, we have an exciting flyover planned at 1 p.m. on Saturday, November 16th, before the start of our first round playoff football game here at Windsor High School. This event, of course, is weather dependent, but the forecast is looking great. A Colorado performance flight team called the Rocky Mountain Renegades has agreed to support. There will be 6 aircrafts doing the flyover at the end of the national anthem. We invite all of you to attend. Students, please report to second block. You are now dismissed. Thank you.